place that I call home, California grows. Yeah, California grows.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was Scott Anderson in the background there. Yeah, look at that. Putting the headset on. Looks good. And there's Bob Fischetti over on the far left of your screen. I'm John Cassidy. Good morning. It is time for Rough Notes and Casual Thoughts. And yeah, it's brought to you by The Brick, John Cassidy and Associates. And we have the wonderful editor, the new editor, a big improvement over Chuck Smith. That's I'm just saying that because Chuck's not here. He won't hurt me.
And
from the Appeal Democrat.
He would feel bad if we didn't say something.
Oh, no,
about
there's
him.
no free ride for Chuck.
No,
And then, of course, Bob Fischetti right there on the left-hand side. Is that a Hawaiian shirt or what?
This is, I tell you, men can only wear two shirts. In the winter, it's flannel. In the summer, it's floral. Flannel and
makes
floral. It easy.
Sounds like a musical act.
Except for black T-shirts go anytime.
Flannel and floral, and then black T-shirts when you're on the guitar.
Yeah. It's a look.
Kind of look like.
Or I could wear, like the editor here, an Adidas shirt, right?
Adidas.
Expecting him to
go. The World Cup's coming. Get it right. Adidas.
He ran 5 miles before he came in. So it's like he's
I was working late on local news, so looking very unprofessional this morning.
Yeah, so.
No, you look like a newspaper guy's been working his butt off all night. That's what it looks like to me.
Like you fit in.
There's a few of those left, thank God.
You've been in long enough, there's no sleep. What do you think? You thought coming here, a sleepy little town, you thought maybe I get some sleep?
And I was at the Brick this morning right when they opened at 6:30.
Love that. I love walking in there. There's nobody there at 6:30. The cats are kind of scurrying outside, and you walk in the Brick, and it's just like, this is like home. Yeah. It's just so relaxing. It's got does it have a great ambiance?
Yeah.
Oh. If you're going to design a place to go not bang on the table, thank you, Kurt. If you're going to design a place to go in the early morning and just have a chill experience for breakfast, coffee, just a chance to kind of get the day started and clear your head, the Brick absolutely rocks.
Yeah, I like to do my first morning writing there.
That's good. So what do we start with? Is it coffee, tea? Is it a mocha? Is it a cappuccino? What do we do?
I get a latte.
A latte? A little vanilla in there? Or what? Just straight latte?
Straight latte.
All right, I got it.
Sierra Foothill style.
Oh, I like that. Okay. And Mr. Fischetti, everything Tower Media Empire, 93Q Community Radio. By the way, we need to fix the clock. The clock is 4 minutes behind.
It's running late. I don't know what the deal is. I fixed it.
Well, that says it all. So, Bob, what do we start with in the morning? Is it tea, coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee. Is it just mud? Is it heavy
just mud.
roast?
I drank a lot of military coffee.
Sanka? What are we drinking?
Sanka.
Hills Brothers?
Do you remember that
Hills
stuff?
Brothers?
Do you remember that stuff called Postum?
Yeah.
It wasn't. It wasn't even coffee. I forget what it was. It was something like a coffee substitute.
Yeah, it's kind of like what's the meat product that they eat in Europe a lot still, and they fried what? It's kind of fake bologna. What's that thing called?
I don't remember.
What's that stuff called, Kurt? The fake bologna stuff? Spam? Yeah, so you're talking. That's the spam of coffee you were talking about.
Yeah. No, actually, I'll do a shout out from one of our local restaurants. On my way in, because I get up at 4:30, McDonald's opens at 4:30, so I grab one of their Café. Right, it's good coffee.
It is good coffee.
Where's this?
At McDonald's.
I love McCafe.
Yeah.
I really did. For a long time, I drank that. I thought that was for especially for the price. It's ridiculous when you look at Starbucks. Yeah.
I know. It's gotten where I pull in there and they recognize my voice. So I don't even give them my order anymore. I just go, hey, I'm the radio guy. And I get to the window and they hand me what I want, right? It's like, you know what I mean? When you order the same thing, like a creature of habit, right?
I'm not. Are you a fan of Starbucks? I like their tea. They got great teas, but their coffee, man, it's really harsh for me. For whatever reason,
Starbucks.
I can't drink it.
Reporters love Starbucks not for the coffee, but for the fact that there's a sort of hub with Wi-Fi in the field when you're working in the field and you need to get to Wi-Fi to upload a story.
Bingo.
You can almost always find a Starbucks.
You can. And plugs, a lot of plugs.
Yeah, recharge. And it's kind of, if you're like a mobile newsroom of one and you're out in the field, a lot of times you're like, okay, I got to get this up right now. Where's the nearest Starbucks?
Yeah.
I wish we had a Pete's. If we had a Pete's here in town, I would
Spell
never
it.
see my wife again.
Spell it. Spell it. Kurt Baird, board operator, engineer. Spell Pete's.
Yeah, I push a button. That's
Spell
what
Pete's.
I do.
What is it? P-E-E-T-S.
P-E-T-E-S.
No.
No, that's you're right.
Double E.
P-E-T. Yeah, there
No,
is a
that's the
Pete's.
restaurant, Kurt.
There is a
Don't
Pete's,
ask
yeah.
me why.
So I'm getting mixed up. Senior moment. So
It's all good.
anyway, go ahead.
Have them throughout the day, often. Too many. So Scott, give us your. So you've been here a month now.
A month, yeah.
So look at that, shaking his head. So give us the impressions as when you first arrived, and now you've been here as the editor of the Appeal Democrat.
I would say 98% of the locals have been really nice and welcoming. I'm still learning all the different towns and cities and neighborhoods. But one really important thing I wanted to share this morning is we're now fully staffed again in the
Congratulations.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So we
yeah.
brought on two brand new full-time reporters, but they both have experience at other newspapers and media outlets. So that's a real win to get some journey people type reporters in here. One of them is Jo Carrera. She's previously worked at the Mountain Democrat, as Placerville's newspaper.
Yep.
And she's done freelance work for the Appeal Democrat leading up to this hire.
Oh.
I think I've seen her name.
Yeah,
Yes.
and she relocated here with her husband to take this job from Fallon, Nevada. So,
Wow.
And then the other is
Moving back to California, a story of her would be perfect. Just
yeah,
for that, you know?
Yeah, and then the other reporter is Ray Bowden. He just arrived about 4 days ago. Now he's really interesting because he is retired Air Force.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
He was securities. Military police in the Air Force
that's
for a
what I
long
was.
time. Yeah, security forces they call
Yeah,
it now.
yeah.
Well,
Security forces.
but he didn't have to use a falsified background check. Thank God. Yeah, either for the Appeal Democrat job or for the military, unlike other people we familiar with. Yeah.
And Ray also transitioned from being security forces to being basically military journalism in the Air
PAO,
Force. Yeah,
public affairs. Yeah,
public affairs in
yeah.
the Air Force, and he was stationed at Beale for 4 years.
Oh,
Really?
that's great.
Even
Yeah.
though, he specifically applied to work at the Appeal Democrat because he wanted to be back in the Yuba Sutter area because he loved it so
That's
much when he was
awesome.
at Beale.
Well, I got news for you, Scott. That one of the phenomena, having moved here in 1985, and at that time, Beale had a couple of additional missions at that time, different missions than they have today. Even they've got more additional missions since. They've changed missions, I guess is the best terminology. The one phenomena, and I was an executive at Great Western Bank here, ran it, and one of the things that was so interesting, and as time went on for me, became part of the character of this community, is there were so many people that came through Beale in their military careers in the Air Force, and Bob, you can address this.
Yeah.
That
stayed
came
here.
back, or either stayed here
Yeah.
after they got out, or actually moved back and retired here. And I can tell you that I was the honorary base commander for 13 years, and I got to know the leadership there all through that time, especially the base commanders that went on to become 2-3-star generals. One of them should have been a 4-star, and the caliber of the people that come through Beale are just extraordinary. But all these people maintain their connections, to your point, to the Yuba Sutter region, Yuba Sutter Calusa region, because they just love the character of the community. It's a very Bob, you want to touch on it, because you actually kind of went through that.
Well, when I came back, I was in Sacramento, and then I went back in the military. So I was with the 940th, which is now the reserve unit out at Beale, but I was at Mather. So I discharged out of McClellan, ended up at Mather. They closed both those bases. And then I got stationed at Beale, and it made me nervous. Like I was the reason, right? I mean, but that was my last assignment, was Beale. But the Air Force community here is amazing. It really is. And the connection between the community and Beale, accepting them as, look, they're just part of all of us, right?
Yeah,
We're here.
yeah.
You did mention that 98% of the people have treated you well. Does that put John and I in the top two?
I knew that message was there.
Well,
I knew that message was
heard
there.
it, John. I just wanted to make sure.
You didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, it's like
No, you guys aren't in. You're not in the 2%.
Oh,
Good.
So, getting back to your kind of original comments there, this was an article back in September of 24, right before Robert Suma left, and then Chuck became the editor again. Robert was the previous editor, so 2 editors ago. I guess in your case, 3 editors ago. He's with the San Jose Mercury News now, and still, Robert loved this community so much he still lives here. He commutes.
Does he?
Yeah, he
Okay.
commutes down. He and his wife. They live here, and so they invested in the community. They love the community. But the point of this article, this was in the Chronicle, and Conor Letourneau actually wrote the story. I had a long talk with him when he did this. To your point, you hired 2 new reporters. You're new to the community. But a rural California community, a dogged editor, and the fight to stave off news deserts. And I think I mentioned that to you when I first made it. This has been considered for many, many years, and Bob knows this because of what he's building here with Tower Media Empire. It's been a news desert. Like Chico, Redding have their own TV stations. Sacramento region all the way through Stockton has theirs. South Bay has theirs, as well as obviously the Bay Area with all the classics with Channel 4, Channel 5, I guess Channel 7 in San Francisco, Channel 2, KTV, all the coverage there, plus all the newspapers sprinkled out. Even though a lot of local newspapers are disappearing, even in some of the larger metropolitan areas, you have a great opportunity here, my point.
Yeah.
And you bring in people that want to be part of the community as well as report about what goes on in here. This is a largely untapped market.
That was one of the reasons I took the job, and one of the reasons the job was exciting to take. I'd been working in the greater capital region for almost 15 years, and I had a lot of partnerships with great journalists and news outfits over there, but the opportunity to come work somewhere where there wasn't a lot of work being done, but it's still a growing, really interesting community. And you're right, it's sandwiched right between the 2 publications I used to run, which were Sacramento News and Review and Chico News and Review. And I would drive through between the 2 all the time and be so curious about what this area was and what it was about.
You never thought it was a desert, did you?
Well, news deserts. Unfortunately, news deserts exist in a lot of places. In Sacramento has many neighborhoods that are themselves micro news deserts.
Right.
So it's a phenomenon that's it's really not good for the health of a community. It's not good for local democratic process. There was just a study by the Columbia School of Journalism that found that in news deserts, local government corruption is higher.
It's way higher.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So, and I can't remember. There was
Because there'd be nobody. I can get away with it.
Well, yeah.
when no one's watching government, and even if
Interesting.
Even if 95% of local officials are good, meaning well-intentioned individuals, it only takes one or two to have some kind of inappropriate connection with a special interest group or some self-interested type motivation, or sometimes just competence or just kind of a malignant personality in local government can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think one of the strengths of this community, and you kind of alluded to it, both of you, in some of your comments. One of the strengths of the community is that it's still small enough to where you see everybody in the grocery store or at Starbucks or at the Brick or wherever. So the ability for corruption to get too far out of control, it would be tough. It's tougher here. And having lived here since 1985, and yes, there's been a sprinkling of folks that have come through some of the government roles that you wouldn't necessarily have voted for if you knew really what they were all about once they got in there. But at the end of the day, for the most part, I can say this firsthand because I've had to deal with a lot of the governmental agencies over the years here and have been involved in a lot of projects. For the most part, it's pretty amazingly clean, even though you may have disagreements, Bob, with some of the decision making, right? Yeah. But with that said, you get much better performance from your governmental entities when you have a robust, fair, and balanced news reporting being done in your community, because they feel like there's even a higher level of accountability that they have.
Higher level of accountability, higher level just visibility.
Yeah.
So, it's exciting to see to get an operational news crew going for Yuba, Sutter, Colusa, and of course we have a full-time reporter stationed up in Tehama County too.
Yeah,
so
right, yeah.
He's
I know it well.
Yeah, so it's
and that's a bit of a desert as well. You got the Red Bluff. What was the paper there forever? Is it even still there?
I don't know about
the
Red Bluff
Daily News.
I'm not sure because he's stationed in Corning and he's covering like Corning, then Glenn County, helping us with Colusa
I think the Record
County.
Searchlight now. I don't think the Daily News exists. I'll have to look. But the other interesting thing is timing is everything in life. Sometimes you can be in the right place at the right time. Sometimes you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time. In this particular community, with everything that's gone on just in the last 10 years, especially if you want to point to the Hard Rock as an example of some of the incredible things that are happening here economically. Obviously, there's challenges in the farming belt because it's been under a lot of stress the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years. But obviously, with the peach issue right now with peaches, that kind of has really highlighted some of the problems with the crop prices, and obviously the ability to get the product to market is now really going to hamper. It has been hampering the agricultural industry here for a number of years, but now that just brings it to the forefront, and hopefully that will create some dynamics that actually foster a positive change for the industry, not having in the short-term negative to deal with, hopefully for too long. But when you look at the performance of Hard Rock, all the recognition it's got, how well run it is. You got a Fortune 200 group in there led by Mark Bertha that has just they've checked all the boxes for how you would operate a facility like that, hotel, casino, and then the Hard Rock Live concert venue and show venue and event center. They've done an extraordinary job, and they blew out all of their pro formas from when they initially opened 7-8 years ago. They've blown them like nobody's could believe in that space, in that particular industry. So it says a lot about this community, kind of what's happening and how it's evolving from an economic standpoint, because facilities like that don't make it in areas that aren't growth oriented. And Bob, I think you'd agree with that, right? That's just been what Hard Rock's done's been incredible.
Well, I remember when they were first coming in and there was the opposition, a casino has these problems, right? And I heard that. I understood. I was on talk radio at the time. But I also, this is where my thinking was, right? And that is, think about the jobs. Think about the number of people. So I met a gal that ran HR right before they opened, and we started pushing it on the radio. They hired a lot of people. We wanted people.
Oh, they have about 1,100 employees out there.
And it was like, hey, go out and apply. So I went out and walked through their application process. They didn't hire me.
Well, you can't blame them for that. They made a good decision. Come on.
That told me a lot about their HR.
But you have played on stage out there because I've seen it. That's your guitar man.
But the fact that it employs people like that, and we talk about jobs is such a big deal in a smaller community. And we've got the hospital, we've got a regional hospital right here. Right.
With a regional cancer center.
Yeah, and it's amazing what we have in this small area. So, and then Hard Rock is talking about developing even more that land that's out there, John. So it's like, yeah, we're in a good place at a good time. I really believe that.
You make an incredible point there, and Scott, having been here about a month, probably is somewhat familiar. But I mean, just the fact that they're exploring. They're purchasing an additional roughly 400 acres out there. So if you go out Highway 65 down to Wheatland and you take 40-mile road into the Hard Rock and you go past the Hard Rock and you see the amphitheater, well, there's about 300-400 acres in between there that they're projecting, roughly a $4 to $5 billion investment in over the next 10 to 20 years. Mm-hmm. $4 to $5 billion, okay, in open space where they're going to create some additional economic dynamics, family entertainment centers, because that's the enterprise zone. That's the sports entertainment zone.
Is there a housing component to it?
We'll get you to those updates because you need to be in those. We'll make that happen. I'll make sure we make a call after the show because they do a regular update meeting with folks, and you need to spend some time understanding all that because it is dynamic. Now, there's some infrastructure issues they're still working through.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking that they're not messing around. The Enterprise Rancheria, Glenda Nelson, that whole team, her board member team. The fact that they were able to even get that thing up and built, I give Craig Marcus, the tribal executive, and Robert Bendorf, the former CEO of Yuba County, a world of credit. for their doggedness in pushing that and getting it done, because it's been a godsend for this community. Everything from hosting the annual Air Force Balls at a level where those folks really feel special, to all the local fundraising millions of dollars have been raised in fund. My concert, the event concert series there every summer, they're just, and then all the shows from Smokey Robinson to Diana Ross to the Doobie Brothers to Devo last week to Nate Smith coming back home and Tyler Rich. We're so fortunate to have that entity there.
I'm not a reporter, but I do want people to know, yes, Devo's still wearing the upside down flower pots on their head. They've not changed, folks.
So Scott, what's the one common comment you've received from people since you got here? If there's one theme that maybe you've sort of not necessarily gravitated to, it is gravitated to you, like you made the comment about Beale and people living here, so we kind of expanded on that. Is there anything else that stands out?
The feedback I've gotten so far, and I've talked to some community service clubs, and I'm taking phone calls every day and just talking to people when I'm out and about. I think the big feedback is that people just want to have that local coverage we're talking about. They remember a time when they had it, and then there was a time when it's really, really struggled. So people are just overall just really, really supportive to see if we can start going back in that other direction.
Mm-hmm.
So
it takes an investment and it takes commitment.
But people have it seems like people have a lot of pride in the community. It seems like people have a lot of interest in their history. We got a couple major sort of news anniversaries coming up in May, including the Yuba bus tragedy that's coming up on its 50th.
1976.
Yeah, and so
and in fact, Kurt was in that class, correct? 76.
I was a sophomore.
Sophomore, yeah.
Yeah, and
but
so
you were in school when it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just leaving my history class in the afternoon after lunch when I heard about it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And there's a number of folks who were there's a number of survivors and responders who are wanting to talk this year because of the anniversary.
I think
and
it's
share
great.
Their stories. So that's something we're working on right now.
Yep.
Obviously, it's got to be handled carefully and with sensitivity because it's we know what it is. But I've been it's been a good time so far.
That's good. I like it.
And I'm just glad to know that John and I are not in that 2%. I felt lots better after.
Yeah.
You notice he didn't say anything about Kurt, though.
Yeah, well.
I like to remain a mystery.
You've always been a mystery.
Wait till Kurt tries to get him in a skirt, man.
Man.
Play the bagpipes, right?
Well, and I assume Jeff Larson's still hanging around doing sports.
Oh yeah. So
you got a good one there.
Yeah,
that's a good man.
Jeff's great, and he actually, because we're fully staffed, he was actually able to take a day off today.
Wow.
So, scary thought. I don't know. We got to be careful. You never know where he'd show up.
He's going to be out and about today, just like kind of
we may have to scrape him off the curb or something, Bob. Huh?
I love sports guys, right? Their head is full. John, you're one of them.
I have a lot of useless information between these ears.
You have
happy to share it.
You have stats on players I've never heard of, right?
Okay.
Not to mention ones that I have, and you stay up with it. You watch like our college sports scene and what's going on, our local sports scene. Yeah. And I just kind of love that. People here love it. I'm glad we've got a baseball team back here again.
That's a nice segue. April 25th, we have the 26th. It's hard for me to believe this. Induction ceremony for the Yuba College Athletic Hall of Fame, which has been extraordinary over the years. I've been lucky enough to not only sponsor it many of the years, but also MC it every year. We have everybody in that thing from Lon Simmons, the former voice of the Giants, the A's, actually the Warriors at one time, the 49ers, longtime 49er voice. And the highlight of his career was, and this is an interesting story, 1960 Olympics at Squaw Valley. Lon Simmons did the radio broadcast when the Americans first upset the Soviets in hockey. And that was the highlight of his broadcast career. Wow. And he shared that at the induction ceremony. He was in the first class going, and he did Yuba College football. And Lon is just absolute, full of life, wonderful human being. So we've got some great stories this year. And every year, the inspiration of all these student athletes that came into Yuba not sure what they were going to do with their lives, but they wanted to continue athletically, and how athletics kept them kind of on track, got them the discipline, and we were all young once. Bob, a long time ago. And so...
what is that word?
Yeah.
Young. I'll have to look that up.
But anyway, their stories are so inspiring, which is why I stay involved. One of the key reasons is because you hear people's lives changed by their experience. And I went, I spent a couple of years in junior college before going to a 4-year school. And it's amazing to hear the stories and the success of many of the athletes. So you go all the way from Lawrence Simmons to even... Yeah, even Festus Ezeli today, who went in the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. Festus does the Warriors broadcast now, and he was a center and a first-round draft pick in the NBA. So, and a lot of incredible stories in between. So,
and Jeff's great about. He's an encyclopedia of.
He's incredible
of recent players in high school in this community that are playing competitive college sports or professional sports. And I feel like every day he's mentioning someone new to me that's doing this and doing that, doing amazing things in the world that are from this community.
Jeff's a classic. Jeff is a throwback sports guy. He absorbs. He's a sponge. When it gets in between those ears, it doesn't leave, and at some point or there or other, it'll pop. And he's not only a really good writer, but he's a sports junkie. And that's
I
a
think
great
that's
description.
what it takes. That was really when I said sports guys, you got to be a sports junkie.
Well, you knew a lot of other types of junkies, so we got to be careful there. We got to be really careful.
Child of the 60s.
There you go.
But I do love the fact that sports are a big part of the Yuba Center community.
Incredible.
We've had so many great players come out of here, and they're going to continue. I keep thinking of that little gal Lauren from Faith Christian, man. What,
incredible.
And then the other gal that was kind of her, cohort in playing, they both got scholarships.
Yeah.
They're both going. And we do that. This area produces amazing people in all different areas.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Including coaches, and
No doubt. Oh, yeah. So, real quick, we got a few minutes left here today. Just want to touch on a subject that I don't think is getting as much exposure, and for the right reasons, frankly. But, Bob, you could touch on this a little bit, too, and I'm sure, Scott, you've heard it. But the number one reconnaissance base in the entire world is right here in our backyard, and that would be Beale Air Force Base. There's a lot, if you haven't noticed, folks, going on in the world right now. And I got to tell you, Beale is a huge part of that, Bob, and with the reconnaissance missions out there, because a lot of those pictures you're seeing throughout the media, world media, national media, television, radio, not radio, but television, newspapers, magazines, whatever, online, a lot of those photographs are taken from vehicles that are coming out of Beale.
When President Trump says, if they move, we're going to see it, that's a fact. That is a fact. Yeah. It's amazing how detailed they can see things from 70,000 plus.
It's unbelievable.
And we're not the only group. There are other places. There's a reason why the B-2s are in Missouri.
Yes.
They're there for a reason,
correct.
Right? So everything is there for a reason. And we just have I think it's a privilege to have Beale Air Base here. And then what they have, the different... Oh man!
What they have that we know about, and what they have that we don't know about. Go ahead, Scott.
we had a story this week about they just won a major environmental award for
right there. Yeah, Tuesday's paper.
We had a front page story, and that's something I never would have guessed. That in addition to everything you just talked about with reconnaissance and high tech aircraft, they also have a team doing environmental ecological habitat restoration that they won an award for. That was super interesting, and it's one of those things I never would have guessed.
So again, I've been blessed because when I moved here in '85, I had never had any connection with the military. My folks were Irish immigrants, and even though we knew some people that were in and out of the military, never at the degree that I have gained by living here since 1985 for all those years and meeting so many ex-Air Force folks. And others, but the quality of people that come through the military is phenomenal. And then when you're dealing with a lot of the leadership and you see where their hearts and souls are at and how thorough they are in how they not only operate their lives, and they have issues like every other segment of society, but at the end of the day, they are always trying to do the right thing. And I'll tell you a great story. There was a commander here probably early 2000s, maybe 2000, mid-2005, maybe just after that. Anyway, he was here for his 2-year run, and he's out jogging one day, and he's jogging by the old golf course. And he comes up on this tee box, and there's this like shiny gleam off it. It had just rained for a few days, but there's this really shiny gleam. And he looks down, and one of the workers comes over. He goes, "Hey, sir, can you look at this? I've never seen this before." So somehow some of this area got washed out by the rain. It was pretty heavy rain, and there was just almost like the old can taps, pull taps, right? And he goes, "Well, just hold on. Don't do anything with that yet. Let me send some folks out to kind of take a look and see what's really going on here." Well, it turns out it was an old hand grenade area that they used when Camp Beale was there in the 40s. And literally there were some unexploded that I guess they didn't explode. They were defective, but there was a whole bunch of them in the ground. Well, it cost $1 million to clean that just little area up properly. But they did it. But I mean, it's kind of funny what you can run into on an old military installation.
Man, I'd hate to tee off from there.
Oh, you get a bang out of that one.
You as a real explosive player.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's good. That's very good. Yeah. Great story on Tuesday's appeal. Beale Air Force Base earns high-level environmental award for efforts against forever chemicals and pollutants. Yeah. They try to do the right thing. There's no question.
I think people were so used to, when we think about the military, we're so used to thinking about the combat troops, but it takes over 300 people to support each combat troop. When you think of all the other stuff that goes on. Now, the Air Force at one time, I think they only had 6 career fields, of which Kurt and I were in one of them, security forces, that were considered combat. So it was like pilots and ones like that. But what it takes to support that.
Yep.
And so, a lot of people think, well, if you're flying a drone, you may not be in combat, but that drone will be. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like all the support that it takes. And Beale, that's why when, you talked about this, that they have this environmental thing. There is so many things in our military, all different occupations. I almost feel like a recruiter. Sign up now, right? You can get the job of your dreams. You can go overseas. Anyway, but I think it's that broader spectrum. And whenever you live in an area like us where you have a base, you all of a sudden get the knowledge. Oh, look what else they do. Look at the other stuff they do. Because otherwise they just think, okay, combat troops and the support. But, man, they take care of everything.
Oh, one of many reasons we were excited and wanted to hire Ray Bowden was because he is so well equipped to cover Beale.
It's great.
And as a part of the culture of this area.
Bingo. Great call. Great decision. Awesome.
All right, you're listening to KETQ 93.3 FM Yuba City.
You had to get that in there.
I had to do that legal ID.
And
to thank the Brick for sponsoring this, as well as John Cassidy. And we will not go over his associates again. We see a previous one for
something
John's
like
associates, right?
Yes, and this is Rough Notes and Casual Thoughts right there over my right shoulder. And and by the way, Colonel Keegan McLeese out there at Beale, the leader, the base commander. Thanks for all you're doing out there. You've been a tremendous asset to this community and to the U.S. military and U.S. Air Force. And
a Cardinals fan, which really made me a fan of the Colonel.
Him, I guess. I guess I could, but I won't. Yeah, he's a Cardinals fan. I learned that right away, by the way, when he first got here. Yeah, he and his wife, they're wonderful people. Great family, and wishing them the best post-Beale.
Absolutely.
After they leave Beale, which I think is in a few months. So. Anyway, other than that, you got anything else on the docket there, Scott, you want to throw out?
We're going to have a lot of news later in the week on the front pages, so just stay tuned every morning.
Stay tuned.
Just none of that has to do with background checks on Bob at this point in time. Okay. It's Kurt. We're good. We're good for another week. We're good for another week. Okay. Well, that's it. That's this edition of Rough Notes and Casual Thoughts. The radio version. You have to do
radio version.
Don't miss the Weekender. In fact, Chuck Smith wrote a great Weekender. I've got to go back through it, but one of the folks is an Irish immigrant with the last name of Shannon. Well, my daughter's from Irish immigrants, my parents, and her name is Shannon. So, great story. More history on the Donner Party and stuff in there. So get a copy of the Appeal Democrat from Saturday or go online. Get your copy. Get your online subscription. And you can read that Rough Notes and Casual Thoughts every Saturday in the Appeal
And
Democrat.
you can watch this one and any other. You can go back and watch previous Rough Notes and Casual Thoughts on our new TV channel on YouTube, 93Q TV.
I love it.
Easy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, Scott, thanks for joining us today. We'll look forward to
thanks for
seeing you
having
again
me.
next
Yep.
week. And keep up the great work at the Appeal Democrat.
Yeah.
And Bob Fischetti, keep doing whatever it is that you do in this Tower Media empire. Kurt Baird on the board. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
We will see you again next week. Thank you.